Well, apologies, my friends. You must be getting sick and tired of seeing the same backdrop. And I was going to go out and sit in my nice yard, but maybe you can hear it. It just suddenly started pouring with rain. For the last week or so, Bermuda is it's been like England. We get these like massive rain showers that just come out of nowhere and then go away again. I suppose I could have waited, but I really just wanted to say what I wanted to say right now. In the last 24 hours since Charlie Kirk's death, um, I've realized two things. One is a really good thing, and one is a quite a disheartening thing. Um, I'm not sure which to say first. I guess I'll go with the disheartening thing. The one disheartening thing, because it leads to, I guess, the heartening thing, is I've had to get rid of at least one person on my Facebook that he used to be transgender. He's a person of, I don't want to describe him too much in case he sees this. He's of a certain minority status and had gender identity issues once upon a time in his life, but has since cleared them up apparently. But he immediately, I was looking at his posts, he was doing the same two things, which was it was poetic justice that Charlie Kirk defended the Second Amendment and then got shot by a gun. I don't know how they see that as being kind of a gotcha. A person can defend the right to bear arms against the tyranny of his government, and then a bad person decides to pick up a gun and shoot him. That's not a gotcha. That's just a bad person deciding to use to abuse the right and the privilege that Charlie espoused. And frankly, you only have to go over to England to realize the precedence of prevalence of knife crimes. If somebody wants to kill you, they're going to find any means to do it, right? So it's not the gotcha that they think it is. The other one, though, is this one pisses me off even worse because they have this recording of Charlie allegedly saying words to the effect of the following. He says, "I actually really hate that word empathy. I think it's a new age term and that it's actually done quite a lot of damage." End quote. Now, 2 days ago, the day before the shooting, I saw that same quote attributed in a still shot to William Shatner. Okay, so and there are lots of quotes out there that they attribute to different people, and it's often a joke. They attribute something to George Washington that clearly can't be by George Washington because it's like I don't drink, but when I do, I drink Budweiser or something like that. But and it didn't the recording the words didn't match Charlie's voice that well. But here's the thing. Let me just concede. Let me just say, yeah, Charlie said that. He absolutely said that, just for the sake of argument. Now, what do we get from that? Well, if you were a person as honest and as good natured and as good faith as Charlie was, Charlie might have taken that quote if somebody else had said it and just said, "What do you mean by that? Like, cash that out for me. Explain. Like, how is empathy bad? You know?" And he would have given the person the opportunity because he was interested. He wasn't interested in sound bites or gotchas. He wanted to understand the other person. But this guy, he only wanted to take this little sound bite and cut it off because you can even see on the recording as soon as Charlie is finished saying, "I think it's done a lot of damage," it goes, you can see Charlie's about to say something more, right? He's about to explain what he means, why he thinks empathy is an unhelpful um, term to use. Why it's become meaningless in a sense. Like often people argue that anti-Semitism, that term has become meaningless. All right, but that doesn't mean that somebody who says that term has become meaningless wants to do harm to Jewish people. You might say that it's been overused in a politicized sense. In the same sense, you could say empathy has been overused as a word that it almost means apathy. It means like a complete lack of discernment, where you don't even tell your friends when they're being led astray by either other people or by their own self-destructive habits. Like there's more to the story. But what these disingenuous fucks want to do is they just want to um, they just want to do a soundbite and demonize the other person. They're not interested in understanding. And so that's the sort of person that I just can't be around anymore, you know? And and I'm having the same trouble with somebody close to me now, who is hasn't even let the blood dry on the ground, And he's already comparing the murder of Charlie to the murder of these senators last year that happened by a lone gunman who was allegedly a right winger and so on. Now, here's the thing: the person who brought that up didn't care about the senators, didn't bring it up, didn't never mention it at the time. I, of course, never said in reply, well, they deserve to get shot or something like that, which is what people are saying about Charlie. No, I didn't even hear about it. He never brought it to my attention. He's only bringing this up now in order to try to invalidate the grief that we feel for Charlie because he doesn't share Charlie's values. And that's what's very, very upsetting. That's what gets my goat. It's so disingenuous. It's so wrong. And um, it but what it has told me, and this is the good part, is that the people that have been agreeing with me on this channel and on Facebook and so on, they're all people that I kind of knew from my time at Biola, and it made me realize that even though I'm a lousy Christian, I drink, I swear, I sleep around, I try to do better, but I am a catastrophically bad example of a Christian. It made me realize, though, that I am a Christian, that I feel complete and utter alignment with conservative, evangelical, even conservative Catholic, if you want, values, and that is at the core who I am. I deviate from it. I I fail to live up to it, and at times I even feel that I just want to move away from it. But has Christ has imprinted His name upon my heart, and that no matter what my doubts are, no matter what bad choices I'm making that lead me far from Him, when something like this happens, it pulls me back, and I know without a shadow of a doubt what side of the spiritual war that I'm on. And it makes me want to go to confession, or it makes me want to go to a pastor, it just reminds me that, with all respect to the Catholics, this is not performance based, that Christ has loved me since the beginning of time. And I don't want to align politics too closely to theology, but I will say this: I'm on the side of the good guys. I'm not a Zionist. I'm not a dispensationalist. That was something I disagreed with Charlie on. But God bless him. You can still support people who are struggling on both sides of an issue over in the Middle East. Um, it made me realize, though, that when Charlie said his greatest thing was that he hoped to be a martyr for Christ, that is my that's where I'd like to be as well. I'm not saying I want to get shot in the neck and bleed out in front of my wife and child, but I just hope that I can somehow find a way to spend the rest of my life living some kind of witness to Christ, and that if I were called upon, that I would heed the call to die in service to His will, and that's my greatest wish. And it took the death of Charlie Kirk to remind me, so I thank Him for it, and I continue to pray for his wife and two children. God love you.